undercover man makes me understand. I hope you'll be okay. Metal Gear Run on the back. My body's breaking, I feel shaking. I'm worried I am the scared no more. I hope to some degree they do run after me. Maybe it's all here, but I hope we're in the clear. Feel the sweat now.
All right, welcome to the LUMR podcast. That is London Underground Music Review. We're now audible and visual. Thanks for tuning in. This week on the podcast, we have the band We Are the Trees from Northern Ireland. They play indie emo rock music, and they recently put out an EP called Bedroom Days, which they recorded in their bedrooms over the lockdown, which I think is pretty amazing. Hello.
Hi, I'm Liam. I'm the singer.
Hi, I'm Tristan. I play guitar, and Liam's not really good at talking. Well, actually, he is only good at talking whenever he's just not being recorded.
Yeah. My name's Jordy. I'm the bass player, and I also edit the videos, which is why I'm never really doing anything else.
Oh, no, that was one of my questions. I was going to ask who edits your YouTube videos, because they're good.
Yeah, that's all me. That's all me.
I'm Day, and I play the drums. And that's it.
Short and
Awesome.
sweet, beautiful.
Thank you for coming on, guys.
Thank you for having us, man.
For having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll just jump right in the first set of questions. So you guys have a YouTube channel, pretty great. There are a few like get to know the band videos on there. If listeners want to go check them out, We Are the Trees on YouTube. I was gonna ask who edits your video, but Jordy already answered. Then it's him.
Yeah.
I think they're really funny. I thought the Being Younger music video was really good, like matched up really well with the audio and flowed really well. I wanted to know what the decision was like for becoming a sort of an online band and putting yourself out there via those videos.
Sure, I'll take this one. Basically, I moved to London in 2016, and when I came back for the summer, me and Tristan first started hanging out, and I played one of my songs at his house, and he was like, "Oh, we should start a band." And then a year later, the four of us ended up getting together. But I lived in London, and then Tristan was moving to Liverpool, and he was in Derry, and Jordy was in Armagh. So we just kind of had to make things work. So we just had to do everything online, because if we waited to do things together, nothing would ever get done. So hence why we decided to be an online band.
Yeah, and another thing on top of that was we had a really great conversation with Damien Keys, who's also a big YouTuber, one of the founders of the BIM Institute, which is a popular chain of music colleges. And he said, he also backed up the point that, if you're trying to work together, only when you're together, then that's once in a blue moon, and that doesn't really work out. So we had to try and come up with a way that's going to make content and do it in a way where we can put enough out, but that it's still good enough quality that it's enjoyable, everyone's having a laugh making it, it's not too much pressure, and it doesn't come along as flat. So it's all a balancing act really when it comes to putting the band out online and trying to manage everything.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, but we do work together well in the terms of if we want a song, we're usually like, okay, I wrote this song, and then we'll all kind of be like, we'll write our own parts separately, and then we'll all just send it in and get it stuck together, and it usually works out pretty good because we always have the same kind of idea of what we want to sound like and go for.
I think it's really smart. I think it's a great way to have your fans care about you as people too, getting your personality out there. I think more bands probably should do it. How has that experience helped you during lockdown? Because I know a lot of bands are having sort of the opposite problem. They're having to go online now, and it's tricky to figure out how to do what you guys do.
I guess because we don't get to gig a lot, we're usually by choice of where we want to live. That obviously makes it when we get to gig, it's when all of us have free time, and it's planned out months really before. Because it's not like we're you're a local band who can just turn and go, oh, we're gonna play this place today, and next week we'll just go in and get it sorted. We did do that for our first gig though. That's because we were all home and it was summer, but that was when we first got together.
The longest time we've ever been home was 3 or 4 months period together when the band was starting.
And then ever since it's just been I'll see you then.
And like whenever it comes to like giving advice for like other bands who are like trying to move online right now and kind of move to what we're doing, like best two things I would say is like, first of all you got to do is whenever you're talking about like getting to know the band and stuff like that, it's adding value, really, you know. It's just creating content that's adding value to yourself. So like, don't be afraid to put out that personal video that's, or like just you, for example, like we put up stories if we're like going out and doing something. Like I put up a story of me trying sushi one time for the first time, you know. So it nothing to do with the music, but it's adding value and giving people a reason to come back. And that leads me on to the second point, which is be creative with it. It doesn't always have to be, you know, straight on, here's what we're doing, like, you know, new album, and just all marketing with no value in between, you know.
Right.
As you say, getting to know people as a person and telling your story is like the most important part, and in essence the most valuable part of I think what we do, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I think so. So Tristan kind of touched on this already, your recording process. I was wondering about this. How do you get songs together when you live in different places? You said you kind of who starts it? Like, is somebody like the lyricist in the band, or do you all kind of start with lyrics? Or
Liam would write most of the lyrics. Well, Liam writes pretty much all the lyrics, don't you?
I write all the lyrics. But like when we're writing songs, like I wrote quite a lot of the songs, but Tristan and Jordy have wrote a couple of the others. Like Don't Get Your Hopes Up was originally written by Tristan, and Every Second was written by Jordy. They just were like, here, I got the song, and I was like, okay. And then they were like, this is the bits, and then I just arranged it a bit, and then wrote our lyrics. I sent it to them, and literally everyone just goes and does their part. Like when it comes to like recording, sometimes we'll be able to we try to get studio time as much as possible, but obviously due to what's going on right now, we weren't able to. So instead we thought we were doing an EP, and so I just recorded like in my bedroom with my own music interface, as does Jordy, and Delaney records in his garage. But Tristan doesn't have any of that, so everything he does is literally recorded through his phone.
wow.
I literally have to put so basically the way I record is I'll put my guitar amp in, and then I'll set my phone up on a chair in front of it, and then I will put my earphones into my laptop and play the demo through the laptop, and then record it so I can hear whatever's coming through the laptop, and then I just play my lead bit over the top of that.
That's
which is
wild.
fun, but sometimes it takes like a really long time. It's worth it, like it's fun.
You each have your own parts in the songs. Do you plan that out beforehand, or do you just get like what they sent you and kind of improv add on to it, or like how do you
I literally just show up and be like, here's the song, and then they go, okay. They literally usually write their part there and then by just jamming it out, then that's it.
Yeah, well, sometimes there is a bit of a preconceived notion though. Like there'd be certain parts would be like, oh, it'd be nice if we had some like harmonies in this chorus part or something like that, or we just give it a quick chat over, or like talk out ideas. But once we do the recording, it moves into kind of like the mixing and piecing it all together process, which me and Liam would both do. We both do most of the mixing and mastering. I did 3 tracks in Bedroom Days, Liam did Crying with Van, and that's where we'll have a lot of time where we can go back over stuff and redo stuff and really take our time and edit stuff and make sure everything's sounding really perfect and we've got the sound that we want, you know. So that's the lengthiest part of the process, is actually after the recording, making sure that the edit sounds good, that everything's clear, and that it's really the direction that we want it to go.
That's really impressive. So I was saying, I think your sound's pretty reminiscent of a lot of like Midwestern US emo bands. I don't know if you guys ever listened to them. They have like
could you guess, could you?
Have you ever heard of Modern Baseball by any chance?
Or American Football?
One of my favorites. So yeah, I was gonna ask, are there any bands you kind of look up to sound wise, or people that you were trying to emulate? So American Football, Modern Baseball.
I'd say like a lot of the Midwest emo bands. Oh, sorry, Tristan, you speak.
No, I was just gonna say I play a lot of like tappy stuff. I like, you know, tapping, and one of the artists I really looked up to for that was Sleepy Dog. If you've ever heard of him.
I haven't heard of that one though.
Sleepy Dog. Oh, he's he's American, like, but he's genuinely brilliant. His voice goes unbelievably well with the style of music he's doing. Yeah, he's class. I really like him. That's kind of like how I learned to do a bit of tapping.
I was thinking, I don't know if you guys know Sorority Noise, Joyce Manor.
Yeah, Joyce Manor is fucking awesome, man.
They're amazing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
No, it's okay. I think
also, Never Hungover Again, Joyce Manor's album. I literally listen to that probably like every day.
Yeah, I think
it's class.
I think Cody's my favorite.
Oh yeah, good dream.
Okay, well, that's all my first segment questions. We can move on to the first game, which is most likely to. So just, I'm going to go through this list of like most likely to this, and just everybody say who you think in the band would be most likely to do that thing.
Watch 90% of the answers be Tristan.
Yeah, it'd just probably be Tristan.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. Usually,
Yeah, pretty
that's when you
much.
guess the answers.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
first one, most likely to trip over their own feet.
Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan does fall over a bit, yeah.
I'm gonna have to say D for this one because he's always carrying a drum kit.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Actually, no, I have a story
Yeah.
for this one. Tristan, remember when we were in Derry recording with the college and youth fair and nearly actually cried? We were performing right at the end of a take of like a live video and audio performance. Tristan runs straight to the edge of the stage, straight over a wire and straight flat onto his side. And it was the most graceful thing I have ever seen. Flew straight through the air onto the floor. Amazing, majestic, couldn't do any better.
Didn't miss one beat.
Yeah. That reminds me of like the time Tristan, remember like we played in London and Tristan was playing guitar and we do a little like choreographed fall and all.
Mhm.
Tristan fell and like just, I hit my head against the amp. Holy shit.
No, I did hit my head. I cracked like the.
Oh, you did?
I had a golf ball on the side of my head.
So yeah, even when he's choreographed the fall, he still somehow trips and hurts himself like.
Yeah, man, it's dangerous being in the the trees.
What about, this is, I guess, pretty similar, most likely to leave their shoelace untied.
D. I always tie my laces.
Yeah, maybe D. Maybe
Yeah, maybe D.
If I am usually barefoot, so I don't really wear shoes as much, so.
So he doesn't tie his laces.
I don't tie my laces.
It's all coming out now.
The conspiracy
Oh, no.
theory is unraveling right here, folks.
Most likely to win at a drinking game.
Not me.
Probably Jordy.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't tried. Like, I don't really drink.
That's really Tristan, because he's always drinking most of the time.
Me or Tristan for
Yeah.
sure. But it just depends who's on a bit of a mad streak at the moment. I'm behaving myself right now. I think everybody kind of is with the whole lockdown.
Absolutely.
So,
No, I'm not. I'd have bought a bottle of rum 2 nights ago. I made strawberry daiquiris.
all right now, Tristan, but that could change.
Yeah.
What drinking games do you guys even play? Because I was trying to think of one, and I was like, I don't know if these are even over here. We usually play like quarters or beer pong or flip cup.
Oh, yeah,
Those
flip
are
cup.
American.
Flip cup, beer pong, yeah, we do them, but that would be at like bigger parties.
I've only ever heard of Flip Cup from Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
Been on talk shows and stuff too.
Yeah, I know.
But it's
I've
like,
seen it before. It looks fun, but like I've never.
There'd be
Yeah.
a card game called
We-
Kings.
but apart from that, it would be like mostly like movie drinking games or like watching things. So it's like you watch something, or every time something happens, then you take a drink because we're just too lazy to come up with anything original.
To be fair, a lot of the time at parties is just someone coming up to you with a bottle of something, being like, "Here, drink some of this."
I know, it's these things, it's mostly fun when you're like with friends at a house or apartment party, not out at a bar, and then you have to have the right group of people. Like drinking games aren't really fun if you're not with like a group of your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Most likely to blast music while driving.
Liam loves his music loud when he's driving. Like definitely.
Yeah.
I probably have a full blast. I just love it. I love driving and having music on full blast, man. It's just sick.
You try to talk to Liam in the car, sometimes he can't hear you or you can't hear him. That's when the music's blasting full volume.
Every time I'm in the car with D, like, and I'm driving, like, we would literally have to probably say our sentences back and forth at least 2 or 3 times.
You what? It's like, turn it down.
Going for a joyride, something that people do here, because I know in London at least, like nobody has a car here. It's just public transport. But
like my car's back home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in London, I don't have a car. I just use the tube. Like,
Northern Ireland's like very rural, so like it's a lot of like small towns and cities that kind of spread out with like not huge stretches of country in between, but it kind of goes from like city to country really quickly over here compared to England. So cars are like way more necessary because public transport's also pretty terrible.
Yeah. That's how Iowa is too, back home. Like it's going for a joyride is like just something you would do like for fun. Like you don't have to have a destination, you just kind of go.
Yeah, totally. That would be much more common for us back home in Northern Ireland. But like whenever you're over in England and stuff, no, you don't really see it too much, really.
What do you mean by joyride?
Like going
Like
cruising,
just
man.
getting in the car, like the car is the destination.
Just going for spins, Tristan. That's
Yeah,
what we
spins.
call
By
it over
joyride, I
here.
thought you meant stealing cars.
Yeah, joyride.
Yeah, man, I
Yes,
love
that is
stealing
kind of-
cars.
So joyride's like a
Yeah.
law and like a bit more specific in Northern Ireland than in the UK, but like yeah, no, we just back home we just call it going for a spin, go and spin it.
Yeah, spins.
Yeah. Most likely to get struck by lightning.
Tristan.
Yeah, something like that would happen to Tristan.
Yeah.
Tristan, you've had some freaking crazy, ridiculous chance things happen to you.
It's like when I nearly took my thumb off and it looked like Homer Simpson.
Tristan's car history is honestly one of the most hilarious things ever.
I'm surprised he still has a car, like.
One time I was driving behind Tristan and I thought his car was going to blow up.
Yeah. Basically, the car was at the end of his life. Like everything that could have went wrong with it had went wrong with it. Head gasket went, engine was overcooked. Basically, the exhaust from underneath the car, not at the very back of the car, but at the very front where it connects, had broken. So it was just this big round cylinder was just hanging down, and that was the exhaust.
And you could just see the fire from there.
But the rust and everything was burning off it because it was that hot. So I was on my way home and I just got a phone call. So I handed him a phone to my other mate and he answered it. And I was just like, all I heard was, "It's on fire." And I was just like, what?
So Tristan's the one that has a very big series of unfortunate events behind him that are just completely ridiculous. So definitely Tristan.
Most likely get you in trouble or like get into a fight.
Liam, we'll get you in the fight.
I wouldn't get into a fight. People just start fights with me.
No, you just got an explosive temper.
No.
Yes.
I just attract
Danger.
people to fight me. I was at a cafe. So this literally proved that like I am just prone to people just starting on me. I seen Cafe Spalman at a festival. And a couple of guys were moshing, and we're all moshing together. It was all fine. And because I was seeing Fontaines DC and Murder Capital, who are like Irish punk bands, and they're really, really good. And they were the headliner. And I was at the gig, and we're in the mosh pit. And everything was fine. And then this dude just grabbed my neck and just tried to fight me. And I was like, "What's going on?" And then like these random people like just got me away, and then his mates like took him away, but it was really, really weird. And then at the next night I was at a talk show who are a band from London, and they're really good as well. And I was just in the crowd during their songs. Everyone was mosh pitting, and then this guy just had never been at a rock show before, so he never seen like a mosh pit, and he just turned around and just grabbed me by the neck and tried to fight me.
So wait, you got grabbed on the neck two nights in a row.
Yeah, why is that the move?
And literally Callum was I have a mate Callum who I went to uni with, and he was there for all of them, and he was like, "Dude, people just start fighting with you for no reason." And I was like, "I know."
Now that you've said that publicly in a podcast, I hope all of our fans now try to fight you at our shows. Liam will fight any fan because he loves them so much.
Body shots only, no face shots. He's still a picture boy. You cannot hit his face in case you hit his jaw because he needs to sing.
Most likely to go skydiving or bungee jumping. Any daredevils?
I think we'd all do that.
I definitely do it. Love it.
Yeah, I love the skydive.
I would never. My 75-year-old grandfather, a couple of years ago, he's like 80 now. When he was 75, he came in and he was like, "I can't get this DVD to work. Can you try to play it on your computer?" And I was like, "Okay, old man." I put it in my computer, and it's just a video of him jumping out of a plane.
No way.
He just went skydiving that day. It was like the last thing on his bucket list, and he just went and did it and didn't tell anyone. My mom was so pissed, and I was really I was like, "What if you had died? What if something happened to you?"
Honestly, what an absolute legend.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Honestly, he's my book of lads.
Yeah, I aspire to be your granddad now.
I do too.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, man.
Okay, most likely to fail a driving test.
You can't say me because I passed mine first go.
Yeah, I passed mine first go too.
Probably me. I would say me.
You haven't got your license yet, D, so
Yeah,
we don't.
Liam,
know.
how many times did it take you
I
to
can see
pass?
myself in it.
Go for it, Liam. Yeah.
What
To be
about
fair, if you roll your car, I could definitely pass them easier.
Oh yeah. If there's a roll your car test, Tristan would be the champion. Like he'd have several licenses and records.
It was only once. So
He also once
Only the one.
reversed it into a lamppost and get it was yeah, in first gear.
I thought I put it. I thought to put it. I was like, I was slammed on the accelerator.
don't
fly
know how you
back,
make that
and then
mistake.
went to hit the brake, but hit the accelerator again, just went bang in the...
I just don't know how you make that mistake. They're literally at two different sides. Like, how?
The entire back end of my car was just like folded in.
Most likely to rant in defense of something.
Oh no,
Liam.
I think Liam, but we're all pretty guilty of it too. We all do go off on one, but
Oh
Liam
no!
especially.
I would just like come into Jordy's room, and I will just I will find like a new thing, probably like an hour before I seen him, and I will just like talk about it for like probably the entire time I'm with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, most likely to fall asleep on the way home and miss their stop on the bus or the train or whatever.
This has happened to me before.
I was going to say D would be more likely, but D's actually
No.
quite sharp at those types of things.
I can never do that. That scares the shit out of me if I do that. Like,
He's just
oh no,
always wide awake.
I have to pay more money now. No. So yeah, I can never do that.
Yeah, it probably will be Jordy then.
Yeah, I fall asleep when I'm traveling a lot, but like not when I'm driving. I'm good when I'm driving, but anytime I'm not driving, I'm like straight out.
That's the third segment done, or second segment done. Now on to more questions. First, what drew you to music in the first place?
Oh.
I've always just been raised, like my mum and dad, like my dad literally had a cupboard full of CDs since I was the longest I can remember. That's just been packed, and always just different music, different styles, everything, ska, punk, hardcore, it used to be thrash. Mum loves The Cure, The Smiths, type of thing, so I've just always had a really wide kind of range of music available to me from the start, so.
I say when I first thought music was sick was this kid Ryan O'Hagan, who I went to primary school with. He showed up one day with a DVD of Busted Year 3000, the music video for it, and he put it in. It was playtime, and we were on the computers, and he was he showed us this music video for Year 3000, and I thought they were so cool, man. I literally just wanted to be like Busted, and I remember when they broke up a couple of years later, it actually broke my heart.
I think for me, I remember it kind of started with my older brother, who was taking guitar lessons at the time, but I remember him specifically coming home with Green Day's American Idiot the day it came out. And my whole family just gathering around and listening to it, and that was just bang, it just switch flipped, and I was like, okay, I get this. This is awesome. And I just sat and listened to the whole album back to back at 6 or 7 years old. So I was doing guitar lessons with my now bandmate, another project I'm in, Martin Rafferty. Absolutely lovely guy. He taught me when I was really young, and now I work for him. So he really started teaching me guitar. And it's that's kind of how I got my start, and then it was just all up from there.
I think it was the only thing I was actually really good at, and it's I'm just gonna keep this going because I'm decent at this, and all the other stuff in school I'm shit. So I'm just I'm gonna keep this going, and plus I kind of made me do music a bad person, and made me meet new and exciting people that think the same as me and also the same stuff as I do. So yeah, I think it's why I did music, because just made my life a bit better. So yeah.
Absolutely, me too. What did you listen to growing up? How did you sculpt your musical tastes?
Oh, I've been on a long music journey. So, like I mentioned, I started off with the whole Green Day thing, pop punk, pure kind of pop punk. Watching Kerrang as a kid, which is a big, the big music channel, and Scuzz and all that stuff. Then
You guys didn't have MTV?
Yeah, we do have MTV.
Yeah, but you have to pay for it.
Wasn't as big.
See, I didn't Sky, so I'd MTV Rocks, Scuzz, and Kerrang, and then Scuzz was the main sort of metal one. There was more metal music played on that.
Yeah,
that sounds so cool.
Wider range.
Yeah, so I kind of got really into the metal thing when I joined my first band, and started getting into Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and into some really sort of crazy, get even crazier metal bands but now I've really mellowed out because of these guys. I blame them. So now I'm really vibing John Mayer at the moment. He is currently my boy. So
Your boy John Mayer.
I have a pretty big musical range, and I think that's really important for working in music, like, you know, and like taking ideas to a band, because that way you're not really going to throw any idea out the window, because anything goes really if you're into anything.
Yeah. Well, obviously my first love was Busted, who I still love to this day, and I always find that out. But then, like, I guess my dad is like really into like country and folk music, and I really actually really have a good love for Rod Stewart and the Eagles and bands like Europe and
hell yeah, the Eagles, man.
Yeah, the Eagles are awesome, man.
Sick.
They're so good.
Like, I'm just gonna say that's like where all of our harmony arrangements like kind of definitely comes
Like,
from.
yeah,
Is being fans of the Eagles. Definitely,
totally. Like
our love for vocal harmonies. Oh, love the Eagles.
And then I love rap music so much. Like, I love guys like Loyal Karna, Dr. Dre, Eminem. In fact, it was probably Eminem when I was younger that made me go, oh, other music exists that I didn't realize. And that's what really got me into like Blink-182, Megadeth, Metallica, and bands like Europe and Queen. And like I put a lot of when I write lyrics, I'd actually probably put down to Eminem, Tyler the Creator, and Modern Baseball, because with Modern Baseball, it's just kind of the whole like emo kind of thing, and the same way for American Football, This Time These Guns, like all those kind of bands. That's like what I would stand for, like in the emo sense. But like with Tyler the Creator and Eminem, it's like how like provocative their lyrics are. Like I really take a lot of inspiration that way from them.
I got a lot of, as a kid, it was my dad and my mum really raised me in like rock and alternative music. Like I loved like I remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite songs was, if you ever heard of the Editors, Smokers Outside the Hospital Doors is one of my favorite songs ever growing up.
Editors were awesome, man.
Yeah, the guy's voice is unbelievable. It's like he sounds exactly the same live as he does when he's on stage, like or when he's in recording. It's great. Editors, and then I went big into like pop punk in primary school. Like I used to love like Blink. Blink was.
Oh my god, man! My Chemical Romance. How did I forget?
My
Chemical Romance.
Yeah, how none of us mentioned My Chemical Romance and how much of a pity it is that coronavirus happened on the 1 year that they got back together. Like, come on! What?
I didn't even know.
Not meant to be.
Yeah.
Who hasn't gone yet?
Steve,
yeah.
is this computer froze?
How long has he been frozen for?
Really still.
I was sitting there. 2 seconds.
Yeah, he must just be frozen.
Yeah,
he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Just lose him.
Just gone? Yeah. I don't know.
R.I.P.D. I can't believe it's happened.
And we're back. We have lost D. His internet dropped out, but we're going to persevere.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. Always.
We love you, D.
He's just doing double kicks.
I kind of feel bad now a wee bit. I know, like, he'd be fine, like, but I know it's internet and stuff, but it's just kind of like we day.
He just showed up in my waiting room.
Oh my god, it's the big reveal.
Is it the mysterious comeback of Delaney?
Oh, please tell me.
I just admitted him. Where is he?
Oh.
Are you back?
Yeah.
He's back, man.
Restarted, and I was just having to say, oh, we lost D. His internet went out.
And immediately after he appears, just like
magic.
Signal in the sky.
It's a glitch in the Matrix, guys. Don't just be real with it.
I'm using 4G, so it's gonna be a little dodgy, like for me, like so.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, do you want to answer that question? What were you listening to growing up? What music were you into?
Okay. Well, at the start, I was like, I listened to just radio songs, like just songs in the radio, because that's all I was able to listen to. Because I don't know, I wasn't really much into music when I was really young. This wasn't in my vision. But in like secondary school, when I started playing drums and all, I started listening to more metal, rock, and like punk and all. Because I felt like if I play drums, I have to listen to all this music to be the best drummer. And then I always thought like that's the best music. But then I went to uni and I discovered like a bit of funk, but like jazz, R&B, and like trad music and all that, like traditional Irish music. And then like in hip hop, and I opened my whole scope to like all these different types of music and all. So yeah, I had this kind of a journey to pop, rock,
Mhm.
and jazz and all that stuff. No, yeah.
Very nice.
He's been on me the whole time, like. Or you just,
Yeah. We were literally waiting the whole time, and then we
oh,
like.
guys, oh, that's so nice.
Oh, mum, if I could hug you, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
When did you all start playing music? At what age did you start like picking up an instrument?
I started playing guitar whenever I was 5 or 6.
Wow.
My current bandmate Martin Rafferty from the band Martin Rafferty was my teacher when I was 5 or 6. He was teaching my brother, and I was insanely jealous that I couldn't stay up an extra hour and do the guitar lessons because I had to go to bed before he did it.
Yeah.
So I did it purely to stay up for an extra hour. But obviously things quickly changed, and I started doing it because I loved it after that. But like, yeah, quite an early start for myself. Like,
Yeah, I was 11 when I started playing guitar. But I'd like done like lots of musicals and like pantomimes when I was a kid, and then I like continued to do. In fact, it wasn't probably until like I went to tech or college for other people, for everywhere else in the world, where like I was like, yeah, I want to be a musician, because I'd always done musicals, and I'd done this like production of Calamity Jane, and it was terrible. Everyone there was just so nasty to each other. I didn't want to do it anymore, and like musicals was something I was going to do musicals for my life, like, and I just did not want to do it after that. Like, it was literally hell. So I just decided, let's go do music at tech and have the best. And here's where we are now.
Well, I started whenever I was a kid. I was like 7 or 8. I tried to learn guitar, and just kind of didn't really feel it. Stopped it, and then I was really into like saxophone and ska punk when I was younger. So I learned how to play the saxophone when I was like 8 or 9, around that age. And then I was moving up to a different school, and I stopped playing that and then started playing guitar again. So I've been playing the guitar basically since I was like 13, I'd say.
I don't know about you, but I went to a nice little Catholic school, so yeah, we were forced to play the tin whistle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the tin whistle.
I have mine right here. I have mine right here.
Good old Catholic boys, play that tin whistle, you know, get those tunes out.
Yeah, man, had to play tin whistle.
Yeah,
that was our music class.
Yeah, the recorder was my first instrument too. They make you buy one, and then you have to learn the songs, and haven't used it since.
Why? Like, if you're trying to get kids to play an instrument, why be like, here, have this recorder? It just sounds like crap. It sounds awful.
It's the worst instrument. Give them a triangle. Like, that would be better, you know? Get them to learn the viola or something, like, more.
Give them literally anything but a recorder.
So yeah, and then I think it was first year of like secondary school, I did audition. Like, a lot of the lads had to audition to get drum lessons, and I was like, and I didn't want to go at first, but everybody went out of class, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to do it just to get out of class. And then I was like, somehow one of the 2 lads who got picked to get the lessons, like, so, and I've kind of stuck with it ever since. So it's by accident I was able to play drums.
Happy accident.
Yeah, happy accident.
Have you guys ever dealt with like anxiety or stage fright or anything, or does it just come naturally to you playing in front of people?
Yeah, sometimes.
Really nervous, but we all kind of we all kind of like get each other really hyped up before we go on stage. So like, it's like not like we're going on being like into ourselves. We want to go out and actually perform. And like, if you're gonna go and see a live band, you don't want to go and see a live band he's just standing there holding the guitars. You want to see a band that's got good chemistry, that's jumping around and stuff. So it's kind of like you have to go into a different. You're yourself, but you're not yourself.
Like a bigger version of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of have to put on that kind of mask and slip into that mode. But like, yeah, of course you're nervous before it, but like once you go up and you play that first chord, it's just kind of like, oh, here we are. We're back to this place. Yes, we know what we're doing now.
To me, sometimes like that's the only thing I don't get nervous about, like playing drums in front of people. And it's like, okay, I don't know, I just don't get nervous playing in front of people. That's the only thing I'm not nervous about. Like,
I don't think it's playing that really makes us nervous. No. It's keeping the show going. And being and is the nervous part, you know, because it's not just about standing there and playing your instrument, as Tristan said. You kind of have to bring that energy and all that comes with it as well. Like, so that's the part that maybe makes us feel a bit more under pressure, more so than knowing our parts, which is the part we're kind of most comfy with, I'd say.
I know for me, definitely, like, I never really felt nervous until I started doing Where Are the Trees, because like it's like a lot of the songs I wrote. So when I show them to people, I'm really really nervous, and hence why when I show these songs to Jordy, Tristan, and Dee, I feel the most comfortable when I show it to them, because they're just like, sick, let's just do it. But like I always have that like I don't know why, but like before I go on, I've never had that fear until I started doing Where Are the Trees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you actually care about it then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's all about like caring for it. Like I think those emotions all come from a place like the stronger you care about something, the more anxious you're gonna be, or the more afraid you're gonna be that something's gonna go wrong. So it's a total sign of passion, in my opinion.
It's what you put into it.
Yeah, totally.
And if I didn't have these three guys, like I couldn't do it. Like, they're amazing.
Oh, stop it, you.
Do you guys have any sort of pre-show ritual or anything that you do? You said you hype each other up before you go on.
Liam will just be like, guys, get in, just have it. Everybody.
Oh yeah, we do the huddle. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We'll huddle together. It's kind of like watching like a rugby team or something. Before.
Usually, I'm just like shouting at them, and then they just shout back what I say, and then like we run on stage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you guys have any main hobbies like outside of music?
I'm a massive nerd, so basically like comic books, movies.
Besides playing in the band, I do skateboarding a little bit. I'm not amazing at it, but like I try. And me and Tristan have went out a couple of times and fallen over a lot. It's been great. Yeah, we're not good at all, but like that's the fun of it. And then besides that, I work as a music teacher as well. So like I'd spend a lot of time teaching and editing videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tristan is a nutritionist and a sports therapist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm literally
do massage.
This is probably one of the weirdest things that anybody's ever going to know about me. I am genuinely a qualified massage therapist.
Yeah, full masseuse. Like,
yeah.
me and
I
Dee
don't
would
have
like
much hobbies, to be honest. I just collect vinyl. That's what I do. Just collect vinyl.
Me and Dee would watch wrestling together a lot when I'm home. Yeah. WWE.
It was in the Discord we watched like some pay-per-view with some other guy, and me and him were just spitting facts about, I don't know, like, this guy's unreal, no, this guy's unreal. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have never seen a more, like, besides us about to go on stage, watching Liam, especially Liam, but Liam and Dee watching wrestling is like, it's like they change into like a feral beast. I have seen Liam jumping on a bed, screaming at a TV. But honestly, I have never loved it so much either in my life, because it was so fun as well. Crazy. It's such a bizarre mix. I love it.
I don't really follow it, but like the actual like the choreography and like the stunts the guys are pulling off is pretty impressive. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got into that show Glow.
Yeah, what's first scene? It was sick. And your girl from Community, isn't it?
Yeah, Allison Brie.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any hidden talents or useless or unusual skills?
Yeah, I can make my tongue touch my nose.
Can you?
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, no, I've tried it before. I can't do it. I'm not going to try it.
In P7, so this is like last year of primary school, I spent like every day trying to do that because I watched Lilo and Stitch and I wanted to be like Stitch.
Magic.
You did it before and you actually like...
Yeah, I literally spent, like, I would like sit in class and do this.
Yeah.
to
That's
like
usually
try and
like...
get my tongue.
Wow.
Sick. My hidden talent is I'm the only one in the band that can grow an actual beard. Talent.
Oh.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Oh.
Do you guys have a favorite quote or like piece of advice you've been given or heard somewhere?
Live, laugh, love.
Where'd you get that?
It was in the bathroom.
I think it's kind of a super silly one, but at the same time, I think it makes a lot of sense. Dory from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming.
Yeah, it's a good one. Simple, short and sweet.
There's one, I know it's not like James Hetfield didn't come up with it, but I remember seeing a video when I was a kid, and they were like interviewing James Hetfield from Metallica. I'm saying to him any advice or whatever, and he's just like, he goes, I definitely say you get out of life what you put into it.
Nice.
Just keep working at something and you'll get there. Like,
it's a good one too.
Mine's a bit of a long one. There's like quotes that like I always loved.
Right.
We do have a lot in common. The same earth, the same air, the same sky. Maybe if we started looking at what's the same instead of always looking at what's different, well, who knows? And that was from the Pokemon movie said by Meowth.
Good, I like it.
Meowth has
Yeah,
got
when he's
such a
new.
way with words.
Meowth always did, man. God rest his soul after he died in that car accident.
I like how two of us are taking life advice from animated pieces of content.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's still valid.
Yeah, I always love that.
I think mine is just my career, just listen to all types of music. That's what I live by, like, just because it just has to become a better musician and a better performer too, and understanding different cultures as well. So yeah, that's my advice.
Do you have a favorite
James,
drummer?
There's one drummer right now I like. Ish, the drummer from Wilco, that band from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like WILCO.
Yeah.
I love that band, and the drummer's unbelievable. Like Glenn, he's class. Like, so yeah, that's my favorite drummer at the moment.
Well, that's all the questions. So just got the rating game. Anything, it can be overrated or underrated or both in any category. Venue that you've played at, venue to play a show.
Oh,
I was going to say a place, but it's closed down now.
what is it?
I was going to say there's a place in Liverpool that was called the Jacaranda. It was a really, really cool venue, but it's closed down now.
There's this place called the Borderline in London. I think it's closed down now, man, and it sucks because it was such a good venue. Like, it was like in Soho, and like Mumford & Sons played there before they were massive. Biffy Clyro played there before they were massive. Narwhals played there. That's where I first seen them or heard of them. I like I've seen Kamikaze Girls there. I like the Catfish's Ballman that played there. I think the Beatles had played there. Like, so many like ginormous bands that we know of to this day like played at this venue, and now it's closed down. And it really, really sucks because it was such a good venue. Like, I think they had like an indie night as well. Like on, I think it was a Thursday or something that was really, really good too. Really sucks that it closed down.
Yeah.
Thinking about just back home, like over here in Belfast, we have a couple of great venues. Voodoo, Limelight, just to name a few that hold great gigs.
There's the Empire, which I love the Empire. Like, I love going. There's really, really good like blues night on Thursdays, every Thursday that everyone should just go to if you're watching this.
Was on every Thursday.
Was on.
Hopefully to return in 2021.
Yeah, hopefully it will come back, and that'll be sick. And then there's where we played our like first Belfast gig, the Menagerie. And
it's closed now, I think.
Yeah, it's closed too. But it was awesome. I loved that place. It was my first Belfast gig with these guys, and it was like a really, really, really meant a lot having that venue. We
were lucky enough to we got to play in the Cavern pub just before lockdown happened. We got to play in there for a couple of songs. They do an open mic night on, was it Mondays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Monday Club. There's a Facebook event page for it that you can join, and actually what they've done is every Monday people will go in and post videos of themselves playing at home so that they're keeping it alive during the lockdown, which I thought was a really good touch.
It's awesome. Something you're listening to right now could be a podcast or an album.
I'm listening to my first ever audiobook, which is Sandman, which was written by Neil Gaiman. It's originally a comic book from the DC universe, and Neil Gaiman was basically told, we need you to write a book about Sandman, but it's got to be completely different from our original Sandman character. And we don't want you to have any links to anything to do with DC. And he went, yeah, of course, and then completely scrapped all that, and literally made like Death, Destiny, and a bunch of other different like eternal characters who are like basically the people who like control what happened, like fate and stuff. And it's really, really good, and it's unbelievably dark, and oh my god, man, it is so good. The story is great. It is fantastic, and everyone should go listen to it. It's great, and I could not recommend it anymore.
I've been listening to an album called Treaty. This is by this band Treaty. It's like a father and son duo. Like the father plays guitar and the son plays drums. It's a frontman from Wilco as well. Like, and they had put out like an album a couple of years ago, and I was listening to it, and it's like, this album's unbelievable. The drumming and the music is so good in that song, so good in that album. Like, I always go back and listen to it. It's like, it's class. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to recently.
I have there's a band from Germany. They're more into the rocky side. They're called the Picture Books. They're unreal. It's just a 2-piece band. The guy is buys guitars out of thrift shops. Not even like branded ones. He just plays anything that's got a real mad setup. The drummer doesn't have any cymbals, and he actually plays with his hands just smacks the drums with his hands and stuff sometimes too. It's really, really cool. You should definitely check them out if you like a bit of rock. Their class. But also I love one of my favorite songs is it might be overrated, but I don't think it is. It's Red and Blue Jeans by the Promise Ring.
Promise Ring are literally like, so they're like one of the like 90s bands that like would have played with Joan of Arc, Captain Jazz, and American Football, and they're still going to this day, man, and they're so good.
Yeah.
Like that whole album is that's probably one of my biggest like inspiration. That album is probably one of my biggest inspirations.
No, they're honestly brilliant. It's like I listen to Red and Blue Jeans when I'm just, because I got my bicycle, so I'll just go for a cycle around the place, go to a park or something. You just be listening to that, just like zipping through the park. It's just good atmosphere.
That's the album, Red and Blue Jeans.
That's a track off the album. Nothing Feels Good.
Yeah.
Nothing Feels Good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Nothing Feels Good.
Yeah.
It came out in 1997.
Nice.
There's a band that that spurred us at the Menagerie. Well, two actually. The Hello Casanova, who I listen to all the time. They've released a
those
song
guys
called
are
Lover.
so lovely.
Awesome.
Yeah, Lover, their new single's really good.
It's awesome. And then this Cloaker and Pew, they're also great. They're really, really
They
good.
also just have a new single out as well.
Yeah.
It's called Nowhere to Spit, which is fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's the over-under game. I was going to ask what your next music video is going to look like, but I found that out because you posted one yesterday.
Yeah, we just released our new music video for Undercover Man, and it is a whale of a time.
Yeah, so there's the EP, Bedroom Days, the new music video, the new single, Hey There Granddad, I saw, which was beautiful. Anything else?
We've got another music video coming out in the next wee while as well.
And after that, we've got even more new music planned coming out this year as well. A couple of new singles will be coming out before the year. So it's going to be a busy 2020 for Read the Trees. We're not slowing down for Corona whatsoever.
No.
Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It was fun.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, man, it's been really, really fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for choosing us for your first podcast. It's been
we really appreciate it.
Yeah, you've been great.
A great host. You've been a great host.
Thanks.
I know that I gave up. I know that I'm making up, but this is my life. So thank you for showing up.